Ahoy, listeners! Welcome to the Yonko Podcast with me, Alex Chuan, and our crew, Burke, Brock, and Ryan. Today we're reviewing Chapter 1018. Talk about a chapter filled with monologuing. Syndrome, eat your heart out. Holy guacamole, Who's Who is quickly becoming a big old story point. To CP9, to Aegis, to Shanks, and Luffy's origins, this guy's got a lot to say. Unfortunately, he's also kind of racist. Give him the good old 1-2, Jinbe. But let's hear a bit more from him, huh? Nika, slavery, Shanks a thief, all this and more on today's episode. Let's jump right in. Let's set sail. Chapter 1018, Jinbe versus Who's Who. Really, a continuation, I would say, of last chapter. Very much so. We are correct sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. We say things that come true. Oh, man.
Some predictions.
Yeah. No, seriously. Name, well, you want to name them as we go through? Or you want
I was going to say, we'll get to our prediction that came true.
All I'm trying to say is we know some shit, guys.
Sometimes we pay attention.
We do. And
sometimes we aren't just farting out info. We're saying things and meaning it.
And it coming true. Our theories can be somewhat believed.
Indeed.
So first off, this cover page gives me some We're Back, a dinosaur story vibes. Friggin' John Goodman's T-Rex character looks eerily similar to that plushie.
And that's a throwback, isn't it? We're back.
That's
some American.
Throw on back to the dawn of time.
Yeah, no, there were songs in that too, wasn't there? I just remember there's a scene where there's an old dude and like a black feather falls down. He's like scared, and I have no clue what that connects to.
There were some dark moments in that movie.
I have no.
There's some dark moments in One Piece, which is what we're actually talking about.
Exactly.
But no, it Land Before Time also.
Yes.
Very, there's a Sabertooth. There's Pei and Ulti, two characters who are recently deceased. Glad they're back.
Say they're in heaven with their plush animals.
They're in heaven.
Why are they in heaven? I don't think they're good people.
I don't know. Well,
I guess we don't know.
Not really. I feel like there is propensity for them to be good people, but there's just not enough info. They're just fighting for Kaido like all the others.
Yeah, you're not even giving them a chance. You're just calling them dead.
They are dead. I stand by at least page 1 is dead. He has not twitched since he was put in the ground by Big Mom.
How do you know if he didn't twitch or not? It's on paper.
It sometimes says twitch, and he did not get one of those moments.
Say the sound effect
but sometimes it'll just be like a little
he's dead.
I don't believe you.
That's okay. We need to have this banter.
If he ain't dead, he's definitely brain dead.
That happens.
Yeah, he's got the veggie no me now.
Oh,
God! No!
Sorry.
No!
That might get bleeped.
Why are you the one saying this?
Anyway, all of that to say, really wonderful cover photo. I enjoy that.
As always.
Yeah, really good. If you look around, you actually have King in the background there. You have Queen. Like the
Kaido. Kaido in the top left.
Yep, Kaido in the top left.
There's the mammoth off to the right there.
Oh, and there's a spider.
And Triceratops. Spider.
Black Maria.
And a Sabertooth. What the hell?
It's all of them.
I did not realize.
Stupid.
That's
so fun.
Sometimes our theories are right, and sometimes we're fucking
Sometimes
idiots.
we just don't see it. I mean, to be fair though, that's still a really
that
cool
makes a
background.
lot of sense. Now, where
cool.
has he hidden? Where has he hidden Yamato? Where's her animal? Where is it? Oh man, that's cool though. Okay, I love that. I do love that a lot.
I do that.
All right, let's move on. First panel here. Inside the castle, just generically, we got the gifters.
Yes.
Right? Gifters rampaging. Headliners.
Headliners and gifters.
Mm-hmm. About 300 of them, perhaps, here.
Have joined the samurai army.
My God. It all happened after a girl appealed on Portman's floor. Obviously, that's Tama. Gave them an order to switch sides. I believe she has some kind of power over them. All these, word bubbles flying out. It's that kid. She has some kind of weird magic. Will come undone if we kill her. Well, now we gotta save Tama, because Tama getting targeted.
She is the she's right now the equivalent to Usopp when he knocked out Sugar in Dressrosa.
Pretty much.
Yes.
She's ruining everything.
Yes.
For them.
And luckily, she has Nami and Usopp to protect her. The strongest of the Strawhats.
Absolutely. Okay, God Usopp.
Usopp.
Divine Providence, baby.
And then Nami, who took on Big Mom's ship as they were getting away from Dressrosa, right?
And obviously killed Ulti.
Obviously killed Ulti. Yep.
Obviously killed Ulti.
That also happened.
KS from Big Mom.
Murdered.
Anyway.
I heard from Big Mom in a while.
Oh, no.
She's dead.
Oh no, they're targeting Tama. What will I do? Usopp, Sama.
Scorpion Death Needle!
Yeah! Monster Daifuku!
Here comes Mr. Daifuku.
I gotta say, I'm really...
You're really going to turn around this character.
Yeah, you're
bro.
gonna-
No, honestly, because I remember last time I said how much I hated Daifuku when I first
And
met
now
this.
all of a sudden he's going to be one of your favorites.
Especially in the anime, because they just did such a good job making him such a bastard. Because, he was the one shooting those plague bullets, and that was getting all those guys, and I was like, dude, go fuck yourself. And then, you just get this...
He was the queen before queen.
And then you got this cute little moment where he's just like, thumbs up, baby. I'm here for you.
I got you.
I got you.
I do like his design. The scorpion tail is kind of dope.
Oh, no, it's really cool. I think he's one of the coolest design gifters, in my opinion.
And is it just me, or is that Batman in that one panel next to Speed, or is that a different one?
Next to Speed?
Right
no,
above Tama.
that's the Gazelle guy.
Is that the Gazelle guy?
That's the Gazelle guy. Which I loved him for the moment I saw him, honestly. I never actually hated him because he's never done anything to actually make me hate him.
Right.
He was always pretty tame.
He was always pretty just fun.
Pretty chill, dude. Yeah. Anyway, so it looks like it's not just going to be Nami and Usopp helping Tama get away, but we got a bunch of headliners, a bunch of gifters helping out as well.
Zoo Army, man.
It takes an army. It's going to take an army to defend Tama because, dude...
Yeah.
Queen would be coming after her.
They all get on Speed, Sama. It was a great success. You did great, Master. Hey, any extra room for me?
Stop running.
Oh, Master, I noticed something. Kamachio was knocked out back there. You might be worried, right? Let us take care of it. You will? Gee, thanks.
Gee, thanks.
So, the dog is confirmed not dead.
Oh, man.
Wait, the...
Komachio.
Oh, thanks.
Komachio.
Oh, that's his name?
That's his name.
I thought it was just Dead Dog. All right. Good to know. Good to know that he's doing all right.
Oh, good.
That really is a remarkable power. Yeah, you don't usually make friends on a battlefield.
Unless,
Luffy says a
does.
member of the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Who was at Dressrosa.
Literally, this whole turning people onto their side with Dongo is literally the same thing in Dressrosa of turning people from toys back to themselves. I mean, we're literally reversing the whole country, I guess in this case the whole island, onto the oppressors.
Or at least the battlefield.
Because they never cared for them, they blind loyalty. So yeah, and then hey Nami,
I actually really like this interaction here. Hey Nami, can I be your servant like before?
What do you mean? Absolutely not!
Aww.
But what do you say? Sidekick.
Oh, Nami!
Out of the way, losers! I'm Nami's sidekick, yeah!
Real quick.
Picked up something
Before
remarkable too, I got
Before we keep going, I do think it was very clever of Oda to, instead of just leaving it to the Dongo, he added in the fact that Chopper's going on his way to heal their men, so that it isn't just the power keeping them on their side.
It's not just manipulation.
It's actually there's actually a show of we're going to treat our enemies well too, because we're not here to kill you. We're just here to save the country. So I like that they kind of reinforced that with ideas despite what they say.
Ultimately, they're not even here to necessarily, Law may have said it way back when.
Dude, way back.
But, they're not necessarily even here to kill Kaido. If
No.
he ends up dying, it'll be because of something either he does or
Someone else does, you know. Who knows? I'm just saying, I don't see Luffy killing him ever.
No.
So if Kaido's to die here, I really don't think he comes from any of the Straw Hats.
No, they just don't kill. I think the two people who are most likely to kill anyone are Robin and Zoro, and I think that'd be literally out of necessity.
Yeah, and again, Zoro definitely could have killed Monet.
I could see it coming from Jinbe.
Yes, that's true.
You think Jinbe could?
I think Jinbe could
kill.
He's old enough. He's seen enough. I think he probably had to do stuff.
I was thinking maybe Yamato could as well kill Kaido, but then the whole idea of her becoming a Straw Hat, I don't really see that either.
No,
I don't think she'd kill her dad.
That, and I think she, excuse me, I think she understands she's not as strong as Kaido.
No, I know, but she
literally has said, "I'm holding you off,
sure,
till Luffy gets
sure,
back."
sure. I just don't know. I mean, do we know enough about her ideology other than I am Odin? And Odin certainly would have killed Kaido, correct?
Oh, for sure. I'm absolutely
If he could have. Yeah. So if she's Odin, it's not so much Yamato.
If he had his way, he would have killed both him and Orochi.
But at the same time, if she's Odin and Kaido's down for the count because of Luffy, I do not see her killing him. That's unhonorable. That's not Odin. It would be a fair fight in the ending, you know. Yeah. But again, holding him off, I don't think she's dealing the final blow after Luffy defeats him, if he does defeat him. But I don't
She goes full maniacal, and as soon as Luffy takes him down, she just starts clubbing him to death.
Here's what abuse! I'm no longer Odin for 3 seconds!
Also, Zeus, we were talking about last time how Zeus became the Climatact, and then in this one it's showing him completely out of it.
Yeah, he can leave the Climatact.
So that means I don't think it is...
He looks like a genie out of a bottle, honestly.
Exactly.
He still has
Exactly. I don't think it's an artificial devil fruit thing.
It's definitely some phenomenal cosmic power with an itty-bitty living space.
Dude, let the Aladdin
Mr.
memes
Aladdin,
with Zeus
sir.
appear.
Miss Nami-san, what will your pleasure be?
Yes, that's a good moment.
Yes,
that could be a T-shirt.
So I don't know if it's actually being how Vagapunk does it though,
where you combine a fruit with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that. We were thinking it was like that, but I don't think so.
I think honestly, what I think it is, I think it has probably something to do with just his
soul thing.
Well, not just that. I think as a part of that, because of what he's made of, he probably has a connection to what makes her weapon what it is. Yeah. Since it creates little storms and stuff, it's probably something that he can acclimate himself to and hide himself in because it holds storms.
Big Mom is a devil fruit user that produces things. She produces and interacts with and manipulates souls, right? So it's not so much
the way
devil
to
fruit.
Stop Big Mom is to seize the means of production, is what I'm hearing you say.
Or just feed her a devil fruit. But she produces souls, manipulates souls. Yeah. So I just think it's one of those manipulations now stuck in Climatact. Now, Zeus did say that Big Mom could easily rip him out of the Climatact, but because Nami's far away and he has his own personality,
and it seems like now that I think about it, it almost I don't know if we've seen this. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, go on.
But it seems to me that she actually has to at least touch or get really close to touching in order to remove a soul.
Yeah, no, he was absolutely going at her all angry, but as soon as she touched him, right, then he lost all of his energy. So as long as he stays away,
Which I like. There's that that very limited thing because at first it's oh shit, she's got the power over life and death, but it's but within a 12-foot radius because she's huge.
Yeah. The only thing that it's weird because you remember early on in Whole Cake where we're kind of learning about the island and then there's that evening scene where all these people who live there are giving pieces of their souls to those people who take the life, right?
Yeah.
And I guess they take them to Big Mom or something happens.
Mm-hmm.
So other things can collect souls, but maybe that's more of a I'm willingly giving it type thing, whereas if he has his own personality. And I think Zeus is stronger because it is a part of her soul.
Maybe it's an awakened thing.
Oh, I mean, I'd be surprised if Big Mom wasn't awakened.
Maybe that in particular, since it's surrounding souls.
Right.
Maybe it's an awakened.
She's got a certain field of she can have people collect souls that are based in soul.
I bet you what it actually is that on the topic of her being awakened, I bet it's that her homies can collect soul from other people if they're giving it willingly, obviously.
Yeah,
I can see that. People who
on behalf of her.
Exactly. Because obviously with the people of Tata Land, they're obviously wanting to give up some of their life energy, their soul, to be a member of that society.
Right. Give up life or leave.
Okay, anyway, back to the chapter at hand. Join the samurai, strike down Kaido. Hey, have you guys gone insane? Some of the headliner's followers are joining them. There are roughly 1,000 of them, and in the surprise of betrayal, they've managed to take out about 1,000 of ours. Meaning the Animal Kingdom pirates started with 30 and have dropped to 20,000.
Back to Aegis.
Which is where we start getting into how close we were on our prediction of this.
Yes.
So we said the next time that we saw Aegis, we would get another tally of what the current results are for the battle. And when you add 1,000 traitors and casualties each, that number drops even further. It is now 16,000 versus 9,000.
I think we said 15.
We said 15,700.
We're not far off.
We were not far off on the numbers. And white may grow further depending on the gifter's efforts.
Right, because they could be knocking down, all the fodder on the other side, making it even closer. So we're going to maintain that 9, and then 16 is going to keep dropping.
And it is possible that seeing the gifters still fighting, like they just said, some of their followers, the more they spread out, the more the chaos spreads. Maybe more of them switch sides as we go.
Also, I don't think the crap happening in the plaza is done yet, because Queen has such a blatant, open disregard for his own men that, and combine that with the fact that Chopper is risking his life to heal them. I can totally see more people joining from just that alone.
Absolutely,
because he's just such a bastard.
I don't know what's up with this one CP9 member. Now, I'm rewatching through Dressrosa.
Oh, you mean that Legend of Zelda looking thing?
Yeah, Majora's Mask looking thing.
Oh, you mean, yeah.
So
it looks like a Deku scrub mask.
Yeah. I know you know.
I'm rewatching through Dressrosa right now, and there's another member of Aegis at Dressrosa that's not this guy. And now this guy's at Wano, and I don't know what happened to the other guy. He's taller, he has a red mask, and he has flares that go out from his head. That guy's not here, but this guy is.
I think he was at Reverie with Lucci and...
very well could be. I want to know what Aegis is actually all made up of, and I want their names, because it seems like we keep switching out members, they go to different places. I want the CP9 reveal of, these are the CP9 agents. And I want that with Aegis. Just something I'm hoping for, that's what. Because we don't even know any of these guys' name. There's just CP Aegis 0.
What I want to know is are these masks their official costume, or is this just something they're donning right now, like CP9 did back in Water 7?
Literally.
You can see the Deku scrub guy is literally holding his face up.
Yeah.
Because Lucci and Kaku, they don't show their... Stussy doesn't either. They show their face.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe they...
Spandom is the same.
Yeah. And maybe that's just because we've met them all already. And maybe that's just Oda's way of keeping the mystery going until they show it.
It would be cool if there was a great reveal. I think they're all new characters.
Oh, for sure. I think so, too.
Now, speaking of their motivation here, it gets a little touched on, which is fun.
Love this moment.
Whichever side wins does not matter to us. But there is one death we must confirm before this is over. Are you sure it's him? That classified intelligence he ran off with was old, and there's no real harm to the government. It doesn't set good precedent that you can escape from us and live to tell the tale. Assuming he survives this, of course. He is fighting Jinbe, after all.
So, we're obviously talking about who's who here. And with our revelation last chapter that who's who was a part of CP9, this is a big deal. But I think a bigger deal in all of that is the fact that they don't care who wins.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That is a huge deal.
Because we were all thinking, who are they going to pick? Are they going to side with someone? Are they going to... What do they want?
They are just here to observe and maybe confirm one death.
And I'm not saying this to be I don't agree with anything. They never really struck me as really being concerned about the affairs of these two pirate groups. They definitely gave me that feeling of we're just here to do our own crap, So I couldn't say for sure, but they never gave me the feeling of we want one side to win.
It is wild to me, and this revelation is insanely wild to me, because there are 3 members of the top secret CPs here. Yeah. And all they're doing, their entire goal here is just to observe one dude's death. And that's it. They don't care if there's 2 Yonko on this battlefield and an upstart that's never really lost every island he's gone to. And they don't
there's
care.
Several upstarts that are...
but
this is a big
we're speaking about Luffy.
Yeah,
we're in a huge affair that Big Mom and Kaido have been very clear of, this is going to be a start of, our grand, alliance, and we're going to get the one... all of that, they could care less. They are literally here to see who die and leave.
Which also, that brings an immediate, much bigger importance to who's character.
Yeah.
Than we at first thought.
Despite the fact this one dude's like, oh, it's dated knowledge. I guess we don't really. Do we really?
And also,
care?
I was wondering
Is
too.
it
Is like, is this dated knowledge related to the Gomu Gomu no Mi?
That is the only information I can see him having, along with other stuff. Before
Well, I mean, also being
because
connected
that's the
to-
last thing he did before he was imprisoned, right? And we'll get more into his imprisonment and what happens after that in a bit, because we go into that. He goes into that, Mr. Syndrome. But that's a big deal to me. So they don't care who wins or loses. They just need to make sure who's dies.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's very cool.
That's wild.
Which then also begs the question: are they going to succeed, or is someone going to try and stop them?
What also really interests me is why they were here initially, because before all this war started, they were talking with Orochi, right? They were dealing weapons into Wano or something.
I believe so, yeah.
I think that's how they get their sea stone.
They had some agreement, right, with Orochi.
Most
So was that all a cover for who's who?
I don't think so. I think there are. I think when Orochi took power, he definitely made some shady connections. Like he doesn't have the same qualms that the other honorable lord, Odin
Right.
and his father did. And especially when his father was, when their family, the Kozuki family, was against opening the country to begin with. It doesn't surprise me that someone who would so easily align with Kaido would also align with.
Right.
And plus, Wano has so much that I'm assuming that the world government wants.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing with Wano. You can't get into it really unless you're invited,
Exactly.
right? And so the fact that Aegis is here at all means, that there should be a larger thing than their dealings with
Oh, for sure.
Orochi.
I think
But it seems like, as far as has been revealed, they just want who's who. And how long has who's who been with Kaido? Do we know that information?
I don't believe so.
Because if
Because
they've
the
been planning this
Tobi Roppo
for...
were only introduced, 50 chapters ago?
Right. But, if Aegis has been doing this whole thing with Orochi, and who's been with Kaido this whole time, perhaps, they've been wanting his death this whole time as well, and this is the real first opportunity for him to be killed.
Maybe.
If Jinbe fails to kill who's who, do you think they kill who's who?
I definitely think they'll try.
Yeah, they'll probably kill him.
Because whatever happened to that assassin that was supposed to kill Doflamingo and Impel Down? That didn't work out, right?
Wasn't that
Isn't-
a Kaido assassin, not a government assassin?
I thought it was a government assassin.
I
Am
can't
wrong?
remember, honestly.
Well, we'll have to do some research into that before next podcast, because I distinctly remember there being an assassin, I thought it was CP related, that was going to shut up Doflamingo and Impel Down because he could say things about Marijois that they didn't want said. But last I saw, that didn't work out so well. Jack went to rescue
Yeah, Jack went to
Doflamingo. Went to rescue Doflamingo because he was being taken in, but he was dealing with Fujitora, Sengoku.
He was dealing with something he wasn't ready to deal
He
with.
messed up.
He does that a lot.
Yes. But no, there's some Doflamingo connections as well. But let's move on, Burke. Go ahead.
Fourth floor, look out, stay back. Who's who is going all out? Moonwalk Geppa!
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying you bear a grudge against Luffy? Technically, my grudge is against the man who stole the Gum Gum fruit from us, red-haired Shanks.
Another
theory
theory
that we called, which obviously
it made sense.
that one wasn't a hard one.
It made sense. It didn't say who stole it, right? But obviously Shanks had it very soon after, gave it to Luffy. The timeline works out there.
Obviously, he didn't give it to Luffy. Luffy just ate it.
He did leave it out, but you're right. I mean, he could have left it on the ship. Let's be clear. Why is he just having an open chest of Gum Gum?
Well,
Because
probably
what
that
if, who
important.
the freaking government was probably trying to hunt him down if he left it on a ship. You know what happens with the Strawhats when they just leave the Mary or the Sunny anywhere? People just get on their ship all the time. You gotta take your valuables with you, man.
That's the hard thing with having a ship, right?
It's like the
you gotta dock it
ghetto.
somewhere.
It's like the entire world's the ghetto.
Yeah, I can't really walk. But no, technically my grudge is against the man who stole the Gum Gum fruit from us, red-haired Shanks. That is a big reveal.
I love how all through this, so obviously he does a Fang pistol, Jinbe does some sick armament hockey.
Yeah. Still bleeding.
Still bleeding, but he does some sick armament hockey.
Oh, for sure.
But and now to my point, I love how Who's Who throughout his fight is like shooting off attacks while monologuing. If only Syndrome could have actually done this in the Incredibles movie, because he can monologue while doing things. But both the straw hat he wore at the time and the gum fruit were things the boy inherited from him. Of course he'll be the target of my rage.
It's interesting, too, because he's shooting mouth attacks while talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, it's great.
Below,
Below
on the third, it's like the ones talk. It's like the anime where they talk underwater.
Yeah, literally. It's like...
Okay.
But below on the third floor, something's coming through the ceiling. My arm!
Those things are sharp, dude.
They're
Is
strong.
that who's fang pistol?
And they are cutting through his armament hockey.
No,
which is, I think, a step up from what Lucci was doing. Where,
Yeah. It's obvious that his fang pistol is on another level compared to his other attacks.
Can I... I'm going to point this...
No, you can't.
This is a theory that I had. Tell me if this makes sense or not.
Huh?
Does Who's Who, especially last chapter when we saw his full reveal in his Zoan form, or hybrid, excuse me, does that remind you of the Impel Down soldiers at all? The awakened Zoans
No, you mean
that
those-
had the abs and who didn't have the human bottom
Those three
mouth?
guys? Not
Those
necessarily.
guys were
Not
like
really.
gigantic too. They were really big.
They were, but he's also not small.
He's
think,
not that big. It's like the
I
side
don't
by
think-
side between him and Jinbe. He's not that big.
I
But
think
Jinbe's not small. That's also
here's the thing. I think he comes much closer to Lucci than those things.
Lucci had a human bottom. Now this is just a theory, and I saw it, and I want to bring it up. I think he has an awakened Zoan.
I mean, probably.
But because he reminds me of the Impel Down jailers. His bottom lip isn't a normal human mouth like a lot of the Zoan users that have the top bit is like the animal and the bottom lip is because he has a full.
Well, you got to realize that Lucci was the same way. It's just they're different cats, and that's how the cats were.
No. Lucci had
to be fair, Lucci didn't have the teeth, but I think it's also a matter of
Having giant fangs sticking out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's.
I think
it's also different in the creature that they're
and that's
portraying.
the thing is every Zoan type manifests itself differently. It's not like Chopper's hybrid form is.
Chopper's weird just because he's the human fruit.
You're
he's
weird.
A reindeer
Leave
star.
Chopper out of
No, but I'm
this.
saying his hybrid, right, is
Literally every Zoan person has a weird hybrid.
right, but I feel like
So it's not like they're all going to be consistent in what they look like. I'm not really worried about that, but this hybrid doesn't strike me as being that far removed. From
Literally,
how
I'd say the main.
Lucci's looks.
I would literally just say the main difference he has from most hybrids is that he just has sharper teeth than a lot of them have.
just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
Pull back
I'm not
in.
going to argue that he's not awakened because
Yeah.
at this point
I would not be surprised.
I expect people at this point in the New World to have gotten that far.
Yeah,
For sure.
now that we know Joker was awakened, like I expect any admiral or
I
top
expect
three
anybody, and I'm not going to be surprised by it.
If we're at the point that we're fighting Yonko, the top
their
guys,
commanders
the top
and their
guys are going to be
underlings,
awakened. I would be very surprised if they weren't.
Yeah, remember, Joker was like a low-level person on Kaido's operation, and he was awakened. So it would make sense that he's awakened.
No, I see what you're
You see what I'm
talking
saying?
about
Okay.
on Lucci.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I feel like with Who's Who, I think it just manifests differently.
I think it's just an individualistic thing.
Okay. Just put it out there for the listeners.
Because by all means, just like Chopper, I think any of them has the ability to also awaken other forms, not necessarily through rumble techniques, but and Chopper doesn't even need to use his rumble ball to do his kung fu form. Or
No, he
things.
doesn't. No.
So maybe, for all you know, this is a little bit more of an advanced towards the Sabertooth side on his hybrid.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because we've seen his full Sabertooth, we've seen his normal form. I just think his hybrid looks. It just reminds me of the Impel Down guards, and they were awakened. Just putting that out there. But no, let's jump back in. Just
Anyway,
want to point that.
back up to the fourth floor after Who's Who has assaulted his own minions through the floor.
I'm sure he didn't mean to,
He didn't mean to.
but he probably doesn't give a shit.
He's like Queen, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Fourth floor. Ha ha ha. So even your color of armament can't stop them. You made the right decision to dodge. Your typical armament hockey won't stop those fangs from tearing you apart. Though I'm surprised to see how quickly you can move on. You can move on land, Jinbe. You know, for a fishman.
Racism.
I don't believe
I
this.
don't believe this. Don't you know casual racism against fishmen is out of style these days?
I do like that more than the scans.
I really do. I
Yeah.
like that.
Straight up, hey, casual racism? Hey, knock that off. We don't do that anymore.
Hey, don't worry about it.
It's out of style.
Well, I honestly, I almost like that scanned version more in that it was where he said, I don't know how to respond to that. It's been a while since someone's been so
Those discriminatory...
blatantly racist to me. Are you kidding? Like, what's wrong with you?
I was gonna say I like both the scan version and this version.
They're both good.
They're both good in their own ways.
But yeah, haha, sorry about that. I don't think he's actually apologizing.
Anyway, there's something I wanted to ask you. Sorry about that. I'm being casually racist over here. Anyway, all my friends are fishermen, by the way.
Let's move on. Also, I'm a cat. What do you say?
I'm a cat. I like to eat fish. What can I say?
No.
Iron body.
It looks like he's trying to get him in the next really cool panel.
There's something I wanted to ask you as he does the freaking flash fang attack at him.
Yeah, and
I love that they're both covered in armament.
Yeah, the armament fangs. That's sick as hell.
Super cool.
Sick.
Fang flesh. Just some really cool images, just spinning around.
As he suplexes him. Fishman
Jiu-Jitsu. Low tide shoulder throw. Throw.
Oh, that hurt.
Such a cool...
What a shot!
Yeah, dude. Smack him in the face.
So that means Jinbe knows Fishman Karate and Fishman Jiu-Jitsu.
That's
yes.
true.
So
I wonder
maybe there's a Fishman version of just like every fighting
Fishman
style.
Taekwondo.
Fishman kickboxing.
Yeah, fish.
Well, I mean, it would
just want a Fishman cage match, damn it.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they had different styles.
If he had fought Hody, he might have had
Fishman
that.
MMA.
Yeah, literally. Put him in the octopus octagon.
I want to see Jinbe versus Logan Paul beat the shit out of that kid.
Fishman.
It'd be his
Fishman boxing.
It'd be his third loss. Anyway, that hurts. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about a story I heard in jail from a guard while I was there undergoing terrible torments. He laughed and told me to pray. Which is interesting, because all the guards in Impel Down are like demon devils.
And they like literally call Impel Down like hell.
It's like you
what?
should pray about it. Dude!
I'm stabbing you constantly, but you should pray about it.
You should pray about this.
You should pray about it, dude.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers. Anyway.
Celestial dragons, why have you forsaken me?
Also, all of us. Now, this is something none of us could predict it. I don't
This
think.
was like-
This is way out of left field. And something I think I was talking about last week where I was like, who might be a conduit to future arcs. Because all this dialogue we're getting is super interesting. It connects to very few things way in the back. Because you remember Fisher Tiger talked a little bit about this whole thing. That's why he named his ship the Sun Pirates, right? It's because of the sun god, who we get a name for now, Sun God Nika.
So yeah, apparently there was a figure that slaves would pray to in the long distance past.
I'm sure the Void Century. I'm sure that has something to do with it as well.
It probably has something to do with it. A legendary warrior they believed would one day free them. The sun god Nika.
Nika?
Nokia?
It reminds me of Nike, the Greek goddess of victory, and I think that's what Oda's kind of pulling it from. Interesting shadow. Reminds me of Shandorian.
I was gonna say Shandorian, something to do with wipers. Something about the face just makes me think of like Usopp, like when he's about to go for a swim. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
God, Usopp.
It does look like some kind of mask or something, which again
Yes,
points me at the Skypeans, the Shandorians, that whole lineage. And he looks very tribal. I mean, there's something going on there.
Did he exist or did they dream him up? They thought he'd bring smiles to their faces and deliver them from suffering.
Not those kind of smiles, you bastards.
Fuck your smile fruits. Jinbe looks concerned.
Now, this is interesting. Now, do you all think that Jinbe is, like, connecting this to something, or he's just getting pissed that the guy was casually racist?
I think he's just pissed about racism.
I think it's a couple of things. I think it's both. I think he is getting annoyed at the fact that you're really starting to piss you off, dude. Quit talking about my culture like this, and also... If you're going to bring up my culture, study first. Wham!
We'll get to that exact moment later. But no, I think there's some sort of recollection happening with Jinbe.
Because I'm sure there's actually some recollection there.
Because I mean, we just knocked out who's who. We'll get there. We'll get there.
My time in prison felt so endless, I actually clung to that strange legend of theirs. Save me, I thought anyone. and Jinbei's just still like listening.
He's got an
intently.
interesting look on his face.
Yeah. Why would you ask me about this?
Back to that bullshit of, I don't care, bro.
Like, what the heck, man? Because you led the Sun Pirates. I heard there were former slaves in that crew. And what is Fishman history but the history of slavery?
Dude!
Oh my God!
Now he's really pissed him off.
Oh my God!
You can see the ka-ching as he grinds his teeth.
You're gonna see Jinbei's hair go gold as he goes super Fishman.
I seriously would like it. Like, seriously, this is some of that Frieza casual racism towards Goku.
Yeah,
I'm the Prince of All Fishman!
Monkey! That's
You freaking monkey, I'm going to kill you, monkey.
Which finger pistol, and then it actually hits pretty well. Oof! And then spots. I like this attack. I think this is really cool.
No, honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing who's who fight. I think it's going to be really cool.
And we see in that moment that Jinbei does some it almost seems like near full body.
Yeah, it's looking like Virgo's back a little bit, but he's a fishman.
What's wrong with that, Alex?
Nothing at all. Don't cancel me.
I feel like with all the racism going on
I mean,
here, that looks a little off.
Let's be
Blackface.
That looks a little fishy.
Lauren and I watched Virgo's first scene, and she goes, blackface. Cancel.
Well,
I hope he dies.
Good
and
thing,
then, well, you know
good
what
thing
happened.
law canceled that.
Yes.
Anyway, blackface. Anyway, whoa, check it out. Master Who's Who is jabbing this guy out.
Oh my god.
I don't like that terminology.
I don't like that term. I don't know.
Jabbing this guy out sounds racial.
That sounds like it sounds like a dance move.
Can we not? Get him, boss. I can't believe it. Our Toby Ropo is even stronger than a former warlord.
You know what I can imagine? I can totally imagine, because you see it in this scene. But I can totally imagine
darker and darker.
He's just, don't bring up his skin
Stop!
color. Anyways, you can see that. I can just imagine in the anime him slowly just like gaining haki as he gets more and more pissed.
Oh yeah.
Until he finally just like breaks his finger.
Yeah, just like that.
And that prison guard told me the story of Nika. They disappeared. They disappeared him days later. I started thinking I was in danger too, so I risked it all to escape. Here I am today. Is it deadly to even know about the legend? Fascinating, isn't it? So, tell me everything you know.
I love this. He's freaking poking and prodding him for any knowledge he has about Nika. And then finally, the armament gets so strong it breaks his freaking finger. It's like, that's what you get for poking me, dick.
Yeah, Fishman karate! Shark grip. I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Who's who? Exactly, who is who?
Real quick.
Real
quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the crackling?
Crackling?
The crackling. What's that lightning?
I think he's cracking his fingers.
Do you think that's all it is? Is there something else to it? I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just wondering, is there
insinuating Conqueror's
not necessarily. Not necessarily.
That's literally what you're thinking.
No,
right?
that's not literally what I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
I don't know what I'm thinking.
I think he's
but I'm
breaking his
thinking
arms.
like it's literally, you can see an effect is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, you know how when armament clashes, there's like lightning that like shears off.
I feel like that happens more so with Conquerors than.
No, it happens. I mean, if you watch. There's a fight between.
What the heck is?
No.
How do I watch it?
No. There's a fight between Sai of the Hapusa army, and he hits. Ooh, what's his name?
Oh, it's the Kun Lao or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Lao Ji.
Lao Ji, yeah, not Kun Lao.
They're both. They have armament going, and then there's. I mean, I'm not saying it's not Conquerors.
Well, I'm not saying it is Conquerors.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
So I just want to know what it is, because it's crackling that we don't often see.
Crack, crock. I'm saying it's either breaking bones or armament scratching each other. Could be Conquerors. Not saying it's not. I don't know if Jinbe would also get Conquerors, though.
I don't know either.
Also, this is what they get for like making fun of him being a former warlord and thinking like, oh yeah, he was done in, because then who's who? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I do love that he does the what's it? The air blade. What's it called? The Rangyaku.
Rangyaku.
Rangyaku. He does it to his face, and Jinbe is
Jinbe's just pissed.
Now, is that shading or does he actually have armament on his face?
I think it's armament.
That's cool.
Just because in the previous one you could see him getting to that black armament.
That's so getting to that black armament. Absolutely.
Exactly.
His face is getting black.
You know, you're the one bringing this up.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
Here comes your puncture wound. Fang pistol. He shoots at point blank.
point blank range.
Jinbe, and then it does like nothing.
Again.
Fishman karate, secret art.
Mm-hmm.
Crap! He just snapped all of a sudden.
What'd I do? What'd I do?
You were casually racist. From my culture, everybody makes fun of Fishman.
Yeah, so he I love this. He throws him, steps on his tail. Hey, you're on my tail. If you're going to run your mouth about history.
Demon break fist.
Oh, that looks so sick, though. Oh my god. Be ready for what you're stepping into first. Like my fist! Yeah! Oh, Master Who's Who. Next chapter hits July 18th. Break!
That's for the official release, which we are actually reading today because it's Monday.
Yes, we are on a break this next week, just like Who's Who's Face.
Yeah.
Lot to talk about.
So
Lot to unpack there.
We'll pack later, don't worry.
is Who's Who down? You think?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
I think he's too important to the story right now.
I do think Jinbe's pissed, and I do think
Of course Jinbe's
I
pissed.
think the fight will go to a new level when they refight, when they continue the fight, but
When they keep fighting.
Refight?
when they refight. I don't think we go back to this fight next chapter.
I don't
No.
think so.
No.
No, I think it's a good
I
starting
think
point
we'd
for this
love.
fight
I think
right now.
I think we'd love to go back to Yamato Kaido. Maybe.
I would love it.
Robin Black Maria.
I want to see the Black Maria fight myself.
I could
I would
also
also be okay with some Frankie. So
Yeah.
next chapter, let's get some Frankie and Robin and Brooke.
Killer Hawkins would be fine.
Or just one after the other. I'm okay with entire chapters dedicated to
Down with Killer Hawkins, that'd be fine. Queen Sanji, that'd be fine. Whatever King's up to.
whatever Zoro does.
We
get
said
out of those.
I said 2 chapters till we get Zoro up and we get that King fight. So we'll see if that happens next
see what
chapter.
happens.
Nika.
The Sun God.
What?
I got nothing to say about that because I'm just like,
Yeah, it came way out of left field.
That's got to be a thing, though, right?
it's gonna be a thing.
That's gotta be
because
something.
At this point, it's gonna be
It's
something.
probably connected to the Great Weapons, in my opinion.
Sure.
Oh, like Uranus?
Like, yes.
The last one we don't know about?
Why would the prisoners pray to it, though?
It's okay to say
That-
Uranus.
Is it? I thought it was Uranus.
It's Uranus.
Is it Uranus? I thought it was.
No.
Sure?
It's Uranus, Neptune, and Pluton.
Yeah.
They're named after planets, Alex.
I know. No, Uranus.
Greek
Uranus
gods.
is the stars. No. The name of. Are you sure it's
I'm pretty
Uranus?
sure it's Uranus, not Uranus. I know which.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know which spelling you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I-
Uranus, which is Kronos' name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Uranus.
Pluton, Uranus, and
I'm pretty
Neptune.
I'm gonna. You guys shot. I want to look that up. I just.
How's your
realized
day
that.
going, Bert?
Anyway, I thought solid chapter.
Oh, I really liked it. I like the fight bit.
Well, honestly, going back to what I just said, I think the fact that he's revered as a god makes more sense and that he'd be connected to these weapons
Something
named
like
after
that.
gods. You know, I think it all might be like a history. Obviously, it's a history thing.
But I agreed with Alex on the fact that the silhouette looked Shandy
For
instead
sure.
he and Sky Person.
Absolutely, I think so too.
Uranus, you're right.
Yeah.
Though there was a post with the other
No, I
version.
know. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that
We don't accept that version here.
I
Most
guess
of
not. Uranus.
We don't endorse Oranos.
If Uranus is the final weapon and it could be connected to Nika, because we're right now we got a battleship, we've got deep underneath the sea, we got something to do with the sky, right? So if you're praying
I'm
to it,
pretty sure that's what it's going to be.
some kind of sun weapon.
Because you got something that can be above sea, under sea. Now something that
And
can
that's
roll
how
from
we
the
get
air.
back to Enel on the moon.
I mean, he's on the
Okay.
moon. Sun.
I was about to shut you down because I was so worried the next words out of your mouth were going to be Foxy. And I was going to freaking kill you. But I would be fine with that.
Foxy too, but anyways.
Foxy is.
What if Uranus is buried
Uranus?
on the moon with those automatons?
Dude, I don't
Foxy will
know.
bring
I
it
don't
back.
know why we sent Enel to the moon if we're not going to get anything else from him. And he discovered the civilization. He powered the moon. Why can you power the moon? Why is there a moon base you can power?
I just feel like there's got to be something there,
Have
right?
you played Rayman? He punches all 4 of those guys onto the moon, and they're there with like little demon things just poking them in the butt making music, okay? There's a lot of stuff.
Space pirates,
A
bro.
lot of stuff
Space
can happen.
pirates.
How'd they get to the moon?
He took the...
our
Not
Maxim.
how he got to the moon. How did the automatons?
I believe that they took a rocket or a parachute.
all of the
There-
Shandorians and Skypeans apparently started on the moon.
Yes, I'm talking about the actual robots.
They are
the
obviously...
the 4 that were there with their master who created them. He chokes because he sees the frickin' explosion up on the
They're
moon.
obviously related to the aliens that went to Naruto's world.
Well,
there we go.
there are space pirates.
Interdimensional travel.
There are... we have aliens. We have space pirates.
Don't bring Kaguya into this.
No, we don't want her in the story.
Well, she's on Naruto's world.
She
It's
might
fine.
ruin it.
Does Jinbe kill Husu? Probably not. So we have a Doflamingo type, finish off Moria type thing with CPHs, right?
Maybe.
If Jinbe doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
I don't think Jinbe will.
But even Doflamingo messed that up.
Like I said, I think along with Robin and
How
Zoro...
did they survive that? Don't know.
Along with Robin and Zoro, even if Jinbe is capable of doing that, I think it's like a last... I think it's something he has to do if he's desperate.
I mean, he just wants to beat him.
Well, so here's the thing with your question about Doflamingo surviving an assassination attempt
Right,
from
yeah.
Aegis. If that was,
I think I'll look back into it.
I don't remember.
I remember
being
that
a thing.
very vividly.
The CPs are obviously they're under the Celestial Dragon.
Yes. Yep.
So they're not even
World government.
They're not even beholden to the admirals at that point.
No, there's yes.
They're the world government, not the Navy.
They're separate. I mean, they all came together during the Reverie, but they're not. The admirals don't tell them what to do. They don't tell the admirals what to do. They're separate branches.
So if there was this assassination attempt on Dofi, how much of it do you want to think that maybe it was just one of the admirals just had like somebody keeping an eye on Dofi in prison in Impel Down, like from their end?
Well, that was Fujitora's whole thing, was to deliver him to prison when he initially locked him up, when they brought him to Impel Down, because they didn't want to kill him. He had information, and Fujitora's pretty big about knocking down the Celestial Dragon. That's why he worked with Sabo in a way in Dressrosa to kind of get the government to take responsibility for all that, and to be like, hey, this is a problem. You've had this happen with Crocodile, now with Dressrosa and Doflamingo. Like, we can't keep doing this shit, which is his big push to end the warlord system.
Yeah.
Whatever SG, what is it? Special Science Committee or whatever, the thing that they proposed to replace them.
Yeah.
Right. Vegapunk is heading that. So Doflamingo's already captured. He's not a warlord anymore. There's no reason for him to live.
I think...
And the Celestial Dragons want him dead because he knows about the grand treasure of Marijois.
Does he, though?
Yeah, that was the whole thing on the roof, remember? When he was like, if I had your fruit that day, Law, I would have been able to turn the world upside down, right? I would have been able to use the great treasure of Marijois that no one else knows about. That's why as a warlord he still had power over them, is because he knew about that, and they didn't want that getting out. So, Doflamingo, I think, is still very relevant to a conversation. I just don't know where he's at.
He's got a very...
I feel like he'll be almost kind of like a Crocodile thing, where like he'll be kind of in the background, observing, commentating on it.
We don't see another breakout of Impel Down, you think?
No.
The only reason...
Not in like, Luffy's gonna be the one breaking out of Impel Down.
I don't think it's going to happen the
Sabo's
same
in
way.
Impel Down. Luffy goes back. Maybe there's a new Impel Down in the new world, and that's where Sabo's being held. And he has to go there and get him, but they get him out first, and then they have to go to the
They
new
moved Impel Down when they moved the Marine headquarters.
I would actually be annoyed by that.
No, of course, it's copy-paste.
Yeah.
A new Marine Fort whole thing with Sabo is already copy-paste, but you want to put him in a new Impel... No, obviously not.
No, I think he'll do a good job of making that different, whatever it is.
Even if Sabo's even captured.
The only escaping I see from Impel Down is literally like...
Foxy.
Shut up.
It'd be nice if he was in Impel Down. Finally,
Mr. 2.
That too.
he is there. He's the new Queen of
Queen of
Okama.
Okama Land. But if there is any breakouts from Impel Down, it will be off screen. It'll be characters like.
Yeah, it's not going to be shown. It might be shown in the anime.
If
but it's not going to be shown.
It could be Doflamingo. It could be people like Doflamingo. It could be Mr. 2, for all we know.
I mean, those are the only two characters.
Maybe Blackbird's like.
Those are the only characters
I
I
guys
care
know
about.
on my crew.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's anyone else down there that's still in Impel Down, right? The side that we care about.
Not that we
Bon
care
Clay
about.
and Doflamingo.
That's
it.
about it.
Yeah.
What about Buggy? He was there too.
Who?
He was there.
We care about him.
Who?
He was
Who?
there.
I know.
He's not
Was
there now.
there.
I'm joking.
That's what. Yeah. So Shanks. This is what's interesting about this chapter that I think is a big deal. Shanks stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi from the world government. He never moves against the world government. He never moves against anyone.
I mean, it almost made it seem like when he was at
Really?
Reverie that, like...
Yeah, like he works with
Well,
them in a way.
here's the thing: is everything that he's done, it's only been talked about. Like he's fought against Kaido. He tried to stop Whitebeard. He stopped the war with Marine.
He tried to
Corps.
stop the war multiple times.
Yeah, and then finally he
Showed
came in
up
and
himself.
stopped the war. So I don't think it's so much that he doesn't start stuff. I think he's trying to keep the peace almost.
Keep things neutral.
Or maybe he's trying to keep the balance.
But the balance is bad, isn't it?
I guess so.
Because
Who
the
knows?
Celestial Dragons are at the head of it all.
All I know is that he's probably one of the most in the know people in the world
Should be.
because of where he apparently stands with the world government, as we know.
And you guys all saw Oda's letter like a few months back where he was like this is the year that,
Shanks
that
makes his
man
move.
makes his move, right? So that I'm looking forward to. If it's at the end of Wano in relation to something Teach is doing.
All I know is right now, even though we've seen so much of him, he's as mysterious as Teach is, in my opinion.
Do you think he wanted Luffy to eat the Gomu Gomu no Mi or no?
I don't think so.
Do you think that was a genuine
I
accident?
think that was a genuine moment of fate that Shanks had no control over.
Because
Yeah.
right after that, Garp takes him,
No.
Luffy, to go live
No.
with Ace and all them, and he's basically
Dawn and
off
all
of the
that good
off
stuff.
of the world's like
radar.
right
I
because Garp is hiding him, just like Ace.
I think he would have...
That honestly adds more of that to why Garp would have probably done that.
So could Shanks maybe have asked Garp, "Hey, this kid ate this really important fruit that I stole. I don't want people coming after it." Because if he works with the world government,
it's possible.
Garp hates Shanks maybe because he let Luffy eat, or by his perception.
It might be that. It's also because
I
he's a
don't-
pirate. He was on Roger's crew.
There's no reason Luffy was important up to that point.
No.
But as soon as
well, I
he
mean,
ate the
Luffy's...
Gomu Gomu fruit-
I think Luffy's... I think there was a reason that he's a D and that he's the son of the Revolutionary Dragon.
But
for
he
two
wasn't in
reasons.
hiding up until that point.
Here's the thing. I think...
Living in Fuchsia Village.
Just
chilling.
I do think that Garp always had plans to make Luffy stronger because he's always wanted to be a Marine.
Right. So him and Ace. Really.
You know, but I think
And if they're Marines, they're safe.
I think his devil
They're
devil fruit
quote-unquote
consumption. I think that hastened the process potentially. I don't know that he and Red Hair have that much to do with each other. I think we'll have to know a lot more about Red Hair's, actual alignment, what his deal is.
It interests me because, Garp and Roger had such a weird
Yeah,
connection.
they were like friend rivals.
Shanks is
Frenemies.
kind of, the most prominent person to rise from the end of the Roger pirates.
Yeah.
Right? So it would make sense to me that maybe Shanks and Garp would have
I mean,
some
if
connection
anything,
as well.
I feel like he has more connection with Sengoku than Garp.
Shanks?
Yeah.
I mean, he did call on him to, end the war, and Sengoku was like,
Now,
yep.
now that's to say, I'm not saying that Garp doesn't know things about him and he doesn't know things about Garp that no one else knows.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're on the level with each other, in my opinion.
It's always been wild to me that, if we look at Marineford, Shanks puts up a blade, stops Akainu, and then we literally see nothing else from Akainu the rest of that. Like, what was that like? All right, now we're all just going to chill. And, he seemingly would have walked past him, and Akainu would have done just nothing after that point. Shanks just has to have, that's his whole thing, right? Akainu's whole thing is, absolute justice. There's Shanks blocking his punch, and the war's still raging, and he lets Shanks just have this entire dialogue with Sengoku. He doesn't even wait for Sengoku to say something to him. He just stops and,
I do think couple things on that. I do think that there may be relevance to that, and that And especially the fact that, and maybe it was just because Luffy was their target, but the fact that none of the admirals tried to attack Shanks directly,
or any of
them directly,
or anything.
So that might lend to the fact that he might have some importance to the world government that they know about. But also, there is also the possibility that Akinu made it completely clear that he doesn't. He said it himself during the war. He's like, I don't care who gets away. I'm going to kill you and Ace. His focus was on Luffy and Ace because of their parentage and their blood,
right.
And that he was ignoring everyone else. So I think that was also part of it. And I think the other admirals kind of follow along with that. Obviously, Aokiji's a bit different in that regard. He owes Garp, that kind of thing. But with Kizaru, Kizaru, he completely went after Straw Hat.
Right.
I think he was more on
Law's
that
ship
end.
and everything. I guess Akinu that could have been he probably got him.
But I'm thinking the main two reasons that there was no real engagement with the red hairs, and this is just up front what I saw, is mainly the combination of their goal was the Revolutionary Dragon's son, who also was raised with Gold Roger's son, so he might know things that he should know or have powers he shouldn't have. And then combine that with the fact that by the time their fight would have happened, he managed to convince Sengoku to end the war. Mm-hmm. So I think there's an equal possibility of they knew something special about him, or maybe... Because you got to realize... Shanks' special something goes all the way up to the very top.
Yes, you can't just have me with.
It goes above the admirals, so they may not even know about why he's so special. Besides the fact that he worked with Gold Roger,
right?
So I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Do you like Shanks more if he does work with the world government from time to time, or does that kind of diminish his character as this great Yonko?
Doesn't diminish him at all.
I think it depends on what his role is, because I think
it would add more to his character.
I think it'd be super cool to see someone who acts as that kind of that connection, that bridge between.
Because it almost struck me when he was revealed at Reverie. It almost struck me as Shanks almost seems to care about world balance.
Yeah.
He almost seems like he wants there to be a balance. He doesn't want the world to descend into full chaos. And maybe that's also just because maybe he, just from hearsay, obviously he didn't go ashore on Laughtail, if I recall, right?
No,
yeah, him and Buggy.
Yeah, him and Buggy stayed behind because Buggy was sick.
Yeah.
So from hearsay...
I can't go to that island disease.
But maybe from hearsay, he knows that at some point the world will have to go towards that chaos,
whatever,
to eventually maybe be free, or whatever
the
end goal is of whatever Joy Boy's letter on Laughtail was.
It needs to get sick to get better.
Exactly. So for right now, I think he's playing the game and maybe he sees exactly what a bunch of people are now seeing in Luffy. Maybe he's the prophesied Joy Boy.
The answer.
He's the answer. And so, and I feel like that is part of the reason he shows up at Reverie, says, I want to talk about a certain pirate. So I bet he was there to talk about Luffy.
I think it was either Luffy or Teach. It depends on which way we're going.
Exactly.
Because I think whatever teaches, he's the opposite of Luffy. He's
the Zebek. He's the Zebek to...
His ship is originally called the Zebek, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of connection.
Yeah, there's a connection there somehow.
Luffy is through Ace's will. Ace is Roger's son. You have the two wills.
And at this point, Blackbeard has to be Rox's will, in some regard. I think it makes it fascinating that maybe Shanks is trying to preserve the current order until such a time that it becomes so unstable that inevitably it has to happen.
He's setting the stage.
I think if and when Luffy beats Kaido, beats Big Mom, all of a sudden the scales tip more towards freedom.
And also, that also brings back the question: what does the Straw Hat play in this?
Exactly.
Why is there always a lighthouse? There's always a straw hat.
Bringing in the Bioshock.
No, straight up though. Like,
but
what's with the giant straw hat and the freaking Marijois?
like what is that like? Is it almost like he put a crown on his head?
I don't know, man.
But inevitably, like what I just said, the two Yonko, who I think when it comes to their ideology, their way of ruling, if they are toppled, you have two giant oppressors of people gone.
Yeah.
Taken out. And then you only have Blackbeard and the world government. Luffy starts tipping that scale more towards people deserve to be free.
Yeah, because
now,
because even now, all
ending.
To be here's the destiny. You can follow you can forge your destiny instead of being under the boot of Kaido or Big Mom
and also
or whoever.
Bring to light, the Void Century and everything that
all the awful things
all the
that
things
both
that
the
are being
Marines,
hidden.
world government, all these things.
And just like, and almost like if this is a little known game, but if anyone's played the Technomancer. Spoilers for Technomancer, so skip this part if you don't want spoilers on Technomancer. But at the very end, you spent this whole time. It's about this people who live on Mars, by the way, and this whole time they're trying to get in touch with Earth, and then when they get to the end after the final battle, they find the truth that Earth was destroyed a long time ago, and then you've got the choice of whether to reveal it to everyone, keep it hidden, make sure that hope's always there. And they just get that kind of feeling from it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that, like, whatever it is
It
destroyed.
won't be. I don't feel like it'll be as dark of a choice
at all.
I think
the biggest choice that we theorize that we've talked about before on I think previous episodes is we think that maybe One Piece was about a choice. And it was a choice that at Roger's time they couldn't make, or there were just a bunch of things that were holding them back from making that decision. And we've obviously theorized that maybe it would be the destruction of the Red Line, the destruction of Fishman Island by proxy, because that comes crumbling on top
and Fishman Island at the same time, right, with the destruction of the Red Line. Which you might need all three ancient weapons to do that, or because there was the whole thing Roger said, right, where we couldn't make that choice as well because things weren't ready, i.e. Shirahoshi wasn't born
just
yet,
kind of going back to our theory about Uranus being a sky weapon.
Yeah.
I think that would be such a cool, and I could just imagine the way Oda draws things. I could just imagine a long page shot of Sea Kings coming up from below, attacking the Red Line. So you have Neptune's power, Pluton barreling through, shooting through,
however it destroys.
And then Uranus from above doing an Independence Day sky beam down on top of Marijois, and ultimately that just destroys the Red Line.
Maybe if you just...
I could see that in Oda's style.
Yeah. Maybe Uranus is just like the moon. You just drop it on the Red Line. Because I thought and I could be very much wrong, I thought the Sea King's whole thing was they were going to take the Noah and whoever loads onto it.
And like there are so many Sea Kings. Right. So I mean, obviously you got the ones who will take the fishmen out from Fishman Island on the Noah, and then you can have the ones like I just theorized attacking, trying to destroy the.
It really would be something.
Maybe it's a two-part where they bring them out and then they're used to fight type thing as well.
It's true.
I mean, Anyway, whatever Shanks is preserving, I think we're assuming he knows what the One Piece is and what it means.
He's probably one.
I think he's heard it through hearsay.
Rayleigh and all them knew, and they
from his crewmates.
Right. He's probably one of the people who knows the truth of
the world.
Right.
Like he's probably.
And he's currently upholding the system, helping the system, in order to maybe eventually replace the system.
Yeah, which is why
I think he's setting the stage for Luffy.
Which is why I don't think he could have talked to the Gorosei about Luffy if he's the one. He wants them to focus on Blackbeard and how this could go the wrong way, while Luffy goes and does it the right way.
But also, we don't actually know. Here's the thing: we don't know the Gorosei. Like we don't know. We don't know
anything about
jack.
We literally
shit
thought
them.
that they were the top of the
Here's
top.
the thing. It was awful, but when that one Gorosei member appeared at Nico Roberts Island, there was What?
No Gorosei appeared at.
I don't remember a Gorosei.
None of them were at
being
Ohara.
Robbers.
He was on the phone with CP9 at the time, but he wasn't actually there. None of them have ever left.
There
that
wasn't
chamber.
the guy with the big beard that was talking to the head of the island?
Pretty sure
It flashed to their room, but he wasn't on that island.
What was he talking to the guy there?
Yes. Yeah, they were on a phone call. The Spandam's father was calling the Gorosei when they were having this conversation with Clover. And then they ordered him to...
Who was the big bearded guy that was talking to Clover?
That was...
I'm looking at as quick as I
I'm
can.
almost certain that
Brock.
one of them was talking to Clover.
Yeah, over the phone. They never left.
But he talked to Clover.
Yeah, over the phone. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care.
They were there in spirit.
I don't care if he wasn't there.
No, he talked to Clover. Clover
But
was
what
telling
the
him.
reason I say what I said is because I think there was definitely some regret in having to destroy Ohara, but I think he believes it was for the greater good. I don't think these guys are inherently bad. I think they've what I get from these guys.
Sure.
What I get just first vibes is that they think they're upholding something that needs. They're the people that are hiding. Spoiler again about Technomancer. They're hiding the destruction of Earth so that people still have hope, type thing.
Whatever happened during the Void Century has to be so terrible that if it was learned by the whole world, the entire operating system would be upended.
Just what?
Whatever
from,
the
from
government
insinuations, it involves genocide.
No, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
why it was
also-
completely erased.
And also, what's up, bud?
It doesn't imply that he was actually there, but the tall, thin one with the mustache spoke with Professor Clover and ordered Spandine to kill him before the archaeologist could speak the Great Kingdom's name. So I don't know if that was over Denden Mushi or if
It doesn't
was
clarify.
in person. It doesn't clarify in the actual writing of this paragraph, so I couldn't tell you. I'd have to go
we can
back.
reread before.
We can look at the manga. We can it's whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I just get this feeling. I think that's one of the reasons why he could potentially talk to them about Luffy, is because they probably know about the line of D.
Of course they do. Of course.
The line. So they're gonna know about Luffy because he's out there. They know he's related to Garp. They know he's related to Dragon. Sengoku obviously knew this before the fight started because he's best friends with Garp. Right. So I don't think there's any reason that he can't talk to them about Luffy, but he might have come up to them with maybe a plan, maybe to defend Luffy, or maybe to talk about future events, and also it could just be about Blackbeard. But I don't think there's any reason he had to hide talking about Luffy because they probably know about Luffy.
The world government never goes after Yonko specifically. Yonkos usually come to them and then they deal with it.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the only reason that he mentioned Teach at that meeting. Because he's like, look, we need to actively go after this guy, because if he's left alone, what happened with Whitebeard is going to happen again to you.
Well, we gotta...
And then the world's really going to be in a terrible place, because he doesn't want the one... Maybe he wants the One Piece, but he wants it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Whatever comes after with Teach is the exact opposite of what comes after with Luffy, which at least that's a good chaos.
Yeah. It's freedom as opposed to chaos.
Right. The whole thing with, revolutionaries and all that. But again, upending the world government system, I think, has to happen when the Void Century is revealed, because it's on them.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we're definitely going to get that revealed before...
What comes after the world government would be this ancient kingdom, just straight up freedom. Everyone has to figure out how they want to rule. Maybe it's all individual islands. Anyway, that's endgame stuff.
Foxy's monarchy.
We're not there yet. That's a good, I think, philosophical talk to end 1018, which all came from Who's Who just saying, hey, Shanks took the fruit.
Hey, I'm a
and I fucking
racist
hate
and
him.
Shanks took the fruit.
I'm an expositing racist.
Yeah, I'm expositing racist. I might be down and out. We'll find out. Anything else to add in 1018, boys?
Nah, man.
All right, 1019's in 2 weeks. There might be some Borderlands in between. We will have to see.
We will find out.
Check our socials. We post things
Sometimes.
when we're not asleep.
When we're not
Or
sleeping.
dead.
Yes.
Or working.
Yeah.
Some of us work night shifts, so it's been a little bit rough recently.
All right, 1019, 2 weeks. See you then.
Deuces.
All right, listeners, that concludes this episode of the Yonko Podcast. Jinbe is freaking epic. Wouldn't want to piss that guy off. Might have some chance to become the Monster Quattro at this point. Let's see if Who's Who is confirmed dead by next chapter, and if not, what else he may have to say. See you all next time on Yonko Podcast, Chapter Review 1019. Break this week, sad. All right, boys, we're off!